for this form.
Okay.
Like drop down as well. So this one.
Perfect. Okay, so you have an idea of what is fields, how to create fields now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Shreya, you also just look into the video recorded yesterday. Okay, so if you have any doubt, just ping me. Okay, Vivek is also joining shortly, so we'll just wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. He sent a message to me. He's going to join. Okay, so I'll till then. Pavan, do you have any doubt in this?
Yeah,
So
till now up to basics, I have no doubts. Uh,
did you submit
okay.
any data?
Yeah, try to fill the recording form.
Okay, perfect. So this is what we called a report, okay?
Yeah, okay.
The all exam applications where the data is storing, right? That is called report or view, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So the all if you go into all exam applications, this is report where you will get lot of additional action. You can do a lot of additional actions here, like you can export. Yeah, you can export the data.
Yeah, I have done this one, like export.
Okay, you can import the data also with a different format. Okay, I'll teach you this section today, and then a little bit of advanced fields too.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why Vivek is not joining it. Okay, anyway, I'll start then. Okay, let him join, and then we can listen the video later because I don't have time. Okay, you can see my screen now, right? So this is the form which we created yesterday to Shreya to give you an overview of yesterday call. So I'm going to teach you about one product which is creator. Okay. So I hope I don't know whether you have created your Zoho login or not. Have you created a Zoho login, Shreya?
Yeah, I have.
So in after logging in, you just go into created.joe.com. Sorry, .in. Okay. So then you will be landed into creator products where you have to create a new application by clicking this. You can create application from scratch. Okay.
Okay.
After creating an application, it will be like this where you have to create a form. So if you want to create a form, what you have to do is form is nothing but Shreya where the user give inputs, right? Let's say you have an order management you need to create an order management application. Okay. So you need to capture the customer data, right? For that you need some fields that is called form where the data is going to be input, that is called form. Okay, so if you want to create a new form, just click on this and create form from scratch. Okay, let's say I'm just creating as this customer data form. Okay, so what are all the inputs? So usually we will get it from customer if it is order management application. Basically their name. You can choose which one you want. See, you wanna capture the prefix, you can enable this. You wanna capture the suffix, you have to enable this. Okay. So if you want to access the application in front end, which means how the application will be visible to the user, that you can see by clicking access this application. Okay. So what are all the changes we are doing it in the back end, that will be visible here. Okay. So I just created a name field. So here the name field is displayed. So I need to process an order. I need customer email ID, customer phone number, and then their address. Okay. I just created 4 fields that are here. Okay. This is called form. Okay. So where the data is going to store, that is called report. Okay, let's say I'm just inputting the data. So when you submit the data, this data will be stored under report. This is called report. Okay. In this report, you will get, it's kind of Excel only. Okay. Where you can edit the data, delete the data, view the data, or export the data. Now you can see this data in list view. If you change it to spreadsheet, there are a lot of views if you see here. If you have, if there is any address field in the form, then you will get the map view also. If you click on map, then it will ask you based on which field you want to create this map. Okay, if there is a proper address, then that address will be plotted here automatically. Okay, so first learn about list view, because this is the usual view are used by most of the clients. Okay, so here if you want to edit, you can edit, you can duplicate the data, or you can delete the data here. And one more thing, there is an eye icon here, right? If you click on it, you can decide what are the fields you want to display in this view. You can define it. Let's say if I don't want to display the phone field in the view, then you can hide it from here. Okay, you can decide that too. And then what are all the things? It's usual, the print is same. If import is nothing but here, let's say you are inputting the customer data one by one, right? Let's say you need to import thousands of customer data in a single way. So what you can do is you can import the Excel file here by selecting the data from your local drive. I'm just selecting something, let's say. I think it's a big file. Okay, then what you can do is it will give you all the fields in the Excel file here. Okay, you can map this column with the with your form fields. In your Excel sheet, if you have 10 or thousands of fields, you just remove all those and map the fields which are necessary or which you needed. You can map it here. Okay, after mapping, you just click on import, then all the data will be imported here in this report. It's like Excel import. But make sure before importing, all the fields are mapped correctly. Okay. Because time. Okay. Can you guys follow me? Or is it?
Yeah, following. So
Then, okay. So yesterday I taught you, explained Pavan only about the basic fields in the screen. Now we have to move into advanced fields. Okay. Here, so Shreya and Vivek needs to see all these basic fields. Okay, you just try on your own and let me know if you need any help. Okay, so let's move on into the advanced fields. Here the name itself, by this name itself give you an exact idea, but I just take you through some of the fields. The decision box, we know it. There are two values you can store it here. One is true and another one is false. So in the backend, it will store the data like true or false. Okay, if you select, that is true. If you not select, that is false. Okay. Then rich text, it's nothing but it's kind of multi-line. But the additionally, what you will get here is you can design. Basically, you will get the basic HTML options here, like you can bold it. See all the basic HTML options, you will get it in rich text. In multi-line and rich text are same, but in rich text, you will get all the basic style formatting options. Okay. Okay, the next one is URL, nothing but if you want to store any URL, you can use this URL field. So if you see here, here, if you see here, if you use URL field, you will get additional thing here. If you want to display the title in the report, you can enable this. Okay, let's say so every time you try a new field, just check if there is any additional property for that field type. Okay. So you have to work on it and learn what is that property is. Okay. So whenever you track something, you will get some additional property in the field type based on the field type. Yes, so if you see in the front end, we created a new URL field, right? See, you will get an option to store the title. Let's say you can store it like this. HTTPS. Let's say I'm planning to store this. See, it will be like this. The same way you can enable the images too. The images you can choose whether you wanna upload a single image or multiple images. Let's say if it is a single image, you will get some additional properties for this image field type. You can check all these things. If you want to see a preview, you can enable this. Okay. These are all the basic things. You can try one by one and add a data and check what this is doing. Okay. So let's say if I enable a timer, okay, then the field type is image size, everything is okay. If you want to add any title, you can add it. Okay. So if you want to, the browse option is also there. So if you want to enable a camera, you can enable it from here. Okay. If you want to compress an image, I think it will help you to manage the image size, I think. So if you don't want to do that, you can do because In Zoho, everything is based on subscription. What does mean is, let's say you are getting a single login, okay, for you alone, okay. If you go into, I think Sneha covered this in their first session, but let me show you. Oh, sorry. Everything is based on subscription in Zoho. So if you get standard plan, you will get some limited file storage. Based on this plan, you will get the file storage size. So you have to think, in which plan the user is. Based on that, you can define that file thing. Okay. So if you reached your file size, then the Zoho will not allow you to store any additional file after that. Okay. So make sure if you want to store compress that, you can do. Okay, the image is, that's it. The percentage is nothing but the field type for percentage is just decimal, but you will get that percentage symbol in the front. The currency is also same. The field type is decimal, but you will get, see, the currency type. Let's say if you are developing an application for the customer who belongs to USA, then you can define the dollar thing. So you can define the currency based on the client location. The decimal, as usual, all three, the field type is same, but you may get some additional field properties based on these field. In percentage, you will get the percentage symbol in the frame. Let's say if you are developing an application for any education institute, you can give the percentage for to capture the score. Okay. And the currency, decimal, everything is same. Date and time, Zoho has date. If you see here in basic fields, they do have date field type and separate time, but in advanced they do have date and time. It's nothing but it's a combination of date and time. You can store the date and time in a single column, single field, that is called date and time. Here, this is how it will be displayed. I don't think we can change the design of date and time. Yeah, but you can define the allowed hours. Let's say if you're developing an application for an company who will work, the work hours is, let's say the work hours is 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. You can allow the user to define, you can define the allowed hours. Based on that, the remaining is same. The date and time, the remaining is same. Then the subform I'll explain a little later because we need some more understanding. We need some more time to understand the subform logic. Subform and lookup, I'll explain it little later. Then the signature field. Signature is nothing but, let's say, everybody, we are just doing it online signature thing right now. So the signature is exactly like that. For online thing. So if you see, you can draw a signature like this. Okay. You can sign it there. That's it. And then file upload field. File upload, the same, the file upload and image, I think you will get the same field options here. Now here you can choose the browse options, whether you want to upload it. If you want your customer to upload it only from local drive, you can enable only local drive. But if you are allowing your customer to upload it from different cloud services, you can enable this actually. Okay, the remaining is same. The field type is audio, video, everything. The name itself, explaining you what is mean. So if you want to import in a video file, the video field type, you have to use it. Okay, this auto number, this is nothing but it's like Excel auto number only. So if you want to start it from 1, so whenever you submit a data, this number will be incremented actually. So even though if auto number has some restrictions, once you define this number, you cannot change it. If you want to change, you have to delete this field and need to introduce a new one. So you have to make sure that from which number you want to start, you have to define it in the initial stage itself. And let's say you don't have any auto number in the initial stage. Okay, you have submitted the records. Let's say you have submitted 10 records. Now you are going to introduce the auto number starting from 1. What system will do is it will take all the old records and place the auto number from the old records. So the new record will get number 11. Since we have 10 old records, the auto number will be applied automatically for the old records too. Okay. So for example, we have 2 already, right? I'm just starting the auto number from 1. The new one will get the auto number is 3. See, the auto number 1 and 2 already assigned, right? So if I submit a new record, it will be 3. Okay, so the auto number is like a unique one. You cannot change this, it's a system generated one. Okay, so if you want to create any unique number field, you have to use auto number field. Okay, the formula field is nothing but it's kind of Excel formula only. So you can define the formula here. Then whenever you submit the data, this formula will be calculated automatically and stored there. Let's say we want to add the currency plus decimal. Okay. So this is the formula field, right? So you can define any formula here. So let's say the first one, decimal one. Sorry, I think I'm adding these two. And one more thing, the formula field will not be displayed in the front end actually, but the user. It always store the data in the backend. It will be visible. It will be visible in the report, but not in the form. If I add the formula field, here it added, right? So whenever you change the value, even in the edit, let's say the edit, if you change it, the formula field will be calculated automatically and updated automatically in the backend. If it is a formula field, you don't need to do anything. Okay, but formula field can be used in certain level. For some complex formula, you cannot use it. You have to write your code for that. Okay. Any question? Can I go for?
Yeah, continue.
Okay. So now you learned about this advanced fields, right? I need to teach you subform and lookup, but I'll teach you a little later that one. Okay. So I will, give you overview of all the actions button. What are all the action buttons here? I'll teach you first. Okay. If you see here at the top, this is blueprints, which we are going to cover little later. This is properties. Okay. So whenever you create a form, okay, this property also you have to keep in mind about this property also. So if you see here, every form will get a property like this. So after submitting the data, so whenever, let's say you're submitting the data here, right? So when you submit the data, you need to give some message to customer, right? So what message you want to give, you can define it here. Okay, by default, it will take the form name and it will add it successfully always. But if you want to customize it, you have to use this here. Okay. Then whenever you wanna, if you want to send any email notification after submitting the form, you can enable this. You can customize that email format here. Okay. The two, you can use the form fields also. If there is any email field in the form, you can use that email field here. Okay. So when let's say this field, right? So what all the email ID you are giving here, that email ID will get a notification. Okay. And if you see here, while I was changing it, see the from is Zoho.admin user ID. In Zoho, you have to, if there are two system variables you have to know for email notification. One is Zoho.admin user ID. This is we used to call this as system variables. Okay, so you cannot change this. So wherever you define Zoho.admin user ID, you will get the admin. Who is the admin of this application? Let's say I created this application in my login, right? So I will get my email ID as a Zoho.admin user ID. You can trigger an email from 3 different email IDs. One is Zoho.admin user ID, which is me, who's the admin of this application. Okay. Another one is Zoho.login user ID. It is another system variable. Who is Zoho.login user ID means, let's say I shared this application with Madhavi. Okay. So if you define Zoho.login user ID in email function, so whenever Madhavi submits the data, it will trigger the notification from Madhavi's email ID. Okay. So third one is, let's say you want to send email notification from any common email, let's say admin@icsglobalsoft.com. Then what you have to do is you have to verify that email ID under this account. What does mean is you can verify the email ID. So if you add that email ID under email verification menu, that email ID will get some OTP. Okay, some number. You have to give that number and validate it. That's it. I will teach you at the end. When I move into admin section, I will teach that how to verify the email ID. So you can trigger the email from 3 different part. One is Zoho.admin user ID, another one is Zoho.login user ID, or you can use n number of verified email address based on your subscription. I think I'm not sure whether the verified email ID is based on subscription or it's unlimited. Okay. Okay, you understand what is Zoho.admin user ID, because throughout the application we are going to use admin user ID, login user ID. You understand, right?
Yeah, yeah, understood.
Okay, fine. So here we are sending the email ID. Here I just picked the email field from the form here. So this, what all the data, I mean, what if you input your email ID here, then you will get a notification here. Okay, so I'm just setting up like this. Okay, this direct to what it will do is, let's say you want to redirect the user into some thank you page. Okay, after submitting the data, you want to redirect the user into some other thank you page. Okay, then you can define that page here, thank you page or any other page you want to take them to new page. You have to give that new page URL. Okay, and if you want to capture the location is nothing but, you want to know like from where the user submitted the data. Okay, if you enable this function, what will happen is whenever user try to submit it, it will ask the user to enable the location access actually. See, it will be like this. So it will prompt the user to allow their location here. If you allow, then you can proceed. Okay, then it will, you can see this location data in the report. The same way, the IP address, you can get the user IP address who is submitting the data. You can get their IP address in a report. And if you see here, just remove. So at the end, the submit button is there, right? Let's say if you want to rename the submit button to some other thing, let's say, instead of submit, you can say okay or something like that. Okay, so you can rename the buttons here, button names from the property. See this property. Okay, I mean, sorry, this button name, you can rename it through property. The same way, update and cancel is nothing but while creating the record, it will say submit. Okay, if you edit the record, Zoho by default, it will say update or cancel. Cancel is like just closing that screen. So if you want to rename this button's name, if you want to rename this button's name, you can do this through property. Okay, rename here. Okay, so you can do this open form submission confirmation pop. Usually what will happen is in Zoho's form, if you click enter, it means it's going to submit the form. Okay, so you can, by if you click enter, which means you can get some confirmation here. If you enable this, you will get some confirmation. Let's say, oops, sorry, tap 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 enter, right? So the confirmation is coming. Okay, my recording, yeah. Oh, so if the user is clicked enter, okay, without knowing something, so it will give the pop-up to the user for the confirmation. Really you want to submit this form or not? Okay, that is the thing it is.
This name itself, explain you clearly. If you want the user to save the data in draft mode, you can enable this. Okay, then they can come and edit and save it and submit later. Okay. Here, I will explain this record owner little bit later because I need to explain some other concept associated with this record owner. The reminding us, you have to check the form properties clearly every time whenever you create a new form. Okay, so if you want to enable captcha, you know, right, what is captcha? No, while form submission, we will get some random this one, right? So verification whether we are a human or not human kind of thing. So that is captcha. So if you can enable the captcha from here, okay, and allow one entry per user. Mm, let's say, you want to capture, no, you want to allow a particular user to enter only, submit the data only one time. Let's say if it is a job application or something else, a job application. So you have to get the candidate data only one time, right? So at that time you can use this. Okay. So you can allow the user, let's say if you share this, if I share this application with Madhavi, so Madhavi can submit the data into this application a single time alone. It will not allow her to submit the data again if you enable this. Okay, the same way the IP address. This is the same control based on IP address. This is based on the email ID. This is based on the IP address. Enable geofence is nothing but the same location thing. And I'm sorry. This geofence is you can define. Let's say you want the user who belongs to USA only can submit this form. So you can define the geofencing here. If you want to allow the user to submit only from Madhya Pradesh, then you can define that geofencing here. Okay. Restrict form access. Let's say you want only 10 candidates to submit this form. Okay, so you can define the entities. So when the 11th person comes, it will not allow the user to submit this form. Okay, it will take only 10 entries, the first 10 entries. Okay, and then the next one is restrict form availability. The same thing. If you want the user to submit the data in some particular time frame, let's say you want to submit only from 9 to 5, then you can define that start and end time. Then the user can submit the data only in that particular time frame. Okay, and this is nothing but the form name which is displaying at the top, right? If you want to change this name, you have to change it from this. 1 minute, let me. Okay. So this is while adding a record. The same way you can, this is giving you two options, right? While adding a record, while editing a record. Nothing but, it's displaying here, right? The same way when you edit a record from this report, the name will be, the name is displaying here, right? You can change it. Okay, so if you want to, so let's say while adding a record, you want to display like customer. When edited, you want to say edit customer or update customer. You can change it from here. Okay, and then same thing, the field label width. This is the form field label width. If you give auto, then it will adjust automatically. So, but if you want to define any custom width, you can define it here, custom thing. And then the field in navigation, the vertical and horizontal, if it is vertical, it's, displaying one by one, right? Let's say if I give it, oops, okay, it's okay. If I give horizontal, I never tried this horizontal, so I don't know what will happen if I give horizontal. Madhavi, do you know what will happen if we give horizontal? The navigate across. Oh, okay. Go. I understand what is mean by horizontal. Okay, here we have a single layout, right? Single layout, right? One by one. All the fields are mentioned one by one, right? But if you have multiple layouts, okay, you can define the multiple layouts in form. So let's say if you have two layouts, Zoho will allow you to create maximum of 3 layout, I think. Okay, so if you have multiple layouts, then the tab key, whenever you press, right? I mean, usually what you will do is when we want to move to the next one, we will press tab key, right? So how do you want to move this tab key? If you want to move vertically or horizontally, that is what it's defining here, this property. Okay, then this field alignment is auto adjust field in each section. You don't need to give, by default it's auto aligned only in Zoho. Okay, so do you have any doubt? I think we have only 15 minutes. Do you have any doubt in this field properties? Sorry, form properties.
Yeah, no doubts.
Yeah, Pavan, go ahead. No doubt, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
today,
while practicing, I might get doubts. Think.
yeah, today I taught you all these advanced fields except subform and lookup, and then I taught you about this form properties. Okay.
Okay.
So make sure whenever you create a new form, make sure that these form properties are fine. By default, Zoho has something, but if you want to enable something, okay, if you want to enable some services, then you have to do it from this form properties. Okay, let's say tomorrow if customer ask you to change the button name, what you'll do, right? You'll have to change it in. You should know that you have to change the button name through properties. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to know about these navigations also. So you have to practice in your login. Okay. Yesterday I taught you, Pavan, how to get into this form properties and how to see the changes in the front end. Okay. So the remaining 2%, Vivek and Shreya, you have to learn that from yesterday, video, then try to do this.
Yeah, ma'am, I will try.
Okay. Anything else? I think I'll stop it here. Tomorrow I'll start the lookup field concept. Hi, Sneha. I didn't notice you. Okay.